Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to Starship. We haven't flown her as much as I would have liked, just because so many great add-ons were releasing at about the same time, but I think it's absolutely time to take her out for another trip again. So today we're going to take Starship from Dortmund to Innsbruck for a lovely localizer DME East approach, and we are of course going to fly that one raw data and without the help of the FMS. Now, before we get started, a quick message from today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that can not just do your standard IFR A to B flight, but that can also do other things like data link, like VFR and more, then pay close attention in today's video, as we'll be using their guidance for today's flight. So if you like what you hear, check them out using the link in the video description or the pinned comment below. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So Starship is sitting here on the apron at Dortmund Airport, and just like most executive aircraft, she is chocked up and also has all the covers in place. So let's go ahead, remove the pitot covers, remove the gear pins, then we can walk back, and down here we can remove the engine covers and the chocks as well. Pay close attention that you actually do this on your flights, because otherwise you may be in for a nasty surprise. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So, quick look into the cabin, making sure everything is tidy and comfy for our guests who are going to arrive soon. The chocks are in position, lovely, and with that our cabin is looking good and ready to receive our guests. So let's get straight up front and let's go ahead and start working on her to get her ready for today's flight. So we'll be using the checklist from the product manual, so if you want to be able to follow along, you know where to find them. Alright, so starting with the pre-flight checks here, the parking brake is set, the control lock is now removed, landing gear control is down, battery control coming on. Then we've got the pitch, roll and aileron trims, which are all centered. Fuel quantity, that's a bit little. Let's actually load her up. We're gonna go for full wing tanks over here, and we have 4 passengers on board today. Alright, so that's checked, then the oxygen pressure is checked, door annunciator is on, and with that we can turn the battery switch off again. Okay, so the covers are removed, and then we can head right out for the walkaround. So, starting just over here on the nose, our forward wing, or canard, or however you want to call it, we had that discussion, is checked, and the forward landing gear is in a good shape down here as well. So are all the probes, and that's all looking good. The ice detector up here is looking good as well. Pitot tube is okay, and the right canard is checked as well. Getting to the wings, you can see those lines over here everywhere on the leading edge. That's from the de-icing boots, so we will see those a little bit later on in action during our checks. Apart from that, the engine intake was okay. Now let's have a look at our rudders and the lights down here. Green is on this side, very good, and the rudder is looking good on the right side. So our prop, actually we gotta make sure not just to check the trailing edge, but also the leading edges of a prop for any possible sign of damages here. Engine is looking good as well, and the leading edges are looking good as well. Wonderful. So our tail fin is looking good, the light is undamaged. Same thing over here, making sure that our props are in good conditions, which they are. Then we can move along the trailing edge to the right rudder, and over here again everything's good. Leading edge is looking good, and with that our aircraft is checked and fine for service. So let's get straight back in, and then we can start setting up. By now our guests should be here, so let's welcome them on board. The door is closed and the latches are in place. Wonderful. And that's checked on both sides. Okay, perfect. So with that, we are ready to take her flying. So let's take a seat on the captain's seat. So before starting engine checklist, circuit breakers, we have them on the left side over here, all checked. Then we got the forward ones checked, and the right-hand ones are also checked. Very good. Alright, so reversionary panels are all checked. Seatbelts and shoulder harness fastened, park and brake set, audio control panels. We'll be listening to VHF 1 and 2, transmitting on VHF 1, and we want to dial them both down a little bit. Okay, so oxygen is coming on, mask, checked left side, checked right side, ice protection all off, landing gear down, anti-skid switch on. So apart from that, we basically check that all the switches are off, which is the case. Fuel controls cut off, prop levers are in the feather position, and the power levers are on ground idle. Perfect. Down here, everything's off. Wonderful. Okay, so before we turn the aircraft on, let's test the standby attitudes and the standby instruments. That is coming on. The on battery light is illuminated. That's very good. Alright then, battery is coming on. Then let's have a look down here at the triple FET, and that's got to be above 22 volts. Then we have the center bus volts, which has to be above 23. That's looking good. ICAS is also coming on. And here we go. Alright, so let's turn off the fire shut-off valves. Making sure that they are closing. That's looking wonderful. So standby fuel pumps both coming on. We observe that the shut-off valves are actually holding tight, so the fuel pressure light stays illuminated. Then let's open the left one, and here we go, and the right one, making sure that it opens properly and that we get fuel pressure, and that's looking wonderful. Alright, standby pumps are coming off, then we can test the fuel transfer system. Transfer left is working, transfer right is working, and back off again. Wonderful. Okay, so then let's ensure that we see the avionic air fail message, which we have. Then we can turn on the avionic alternate blower. That comes on, and the avionic air fail message goes off. And since it's pretty hot outside, I'm going to keep the alternate blower turned on. Okay, so apart from that, oxygen pressure is checked. We've got the no smoking and the seatbelt signs. We have the nav lights, and that's everything we need for the time being. So let's go ahead and grab our clearance. And for that, we'll need the Navigraph charts, where we can download our latest flight plan. Of course, this is taking a little bit longer whenever I'm showing something off. Here we go. Import from SimBrief and Dortmund to Innsbruck. Download. Very nice. So, Dortmund Airport. ATIS 125130.
Aro Zulu. Wind 265 at 6. Visibility 6. Sky conditions, scattered at 4300 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 17. QNH 1023. Density altitude 1700 feet.
Okay,
Arriving
QNH
and departing runway
1023.
24. Transition level 55, advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information mic. Dortmund Airport, information mic.
Okay, so information
1250
mic.
Wind 265 at 6. Visibility 6. Sky conditions, scattered at 4300 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 17. QNH 1023. Density altitude 1700 feet.
Alright, perfect. So that's what we wanted to know. Now our clearance is going to be on 121.83.
Altitude.
So let's call for clearance. Dortmund ground, Starship 786 Bravo Papa information mic, request IFR clearance to Innsbruck.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Sure. So, we gotta be a little careful with the batteries here, but I think it's fine for the time being.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Information Mike is current. Clear to Innsbruck via the Germinghausen 1 uniform departure runway 24. Initial climb to 5,000. Departure on 125.225. Squawk 3241.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, clear to Innsbruck via Germinghausen 1 uniform departure runway 24, climb altitude 5000, departure 125.225, squawk 3241.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Read back correct.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, request startup.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
Negative, we just need engine start. I don't want a new clearance.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Engine start approved. Contact apron on 119.999 if you need a tug.
Engine startup approved, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, wonderful.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Information Mike is current.
No. We don't need a new clearance, please. Okay, so engine startup is approved. Then let's commence our right engine start. So down here everything is set and starting right engine. So the gas generator is increasing. We have 12%. Let's wait until it reaches maximum motoring. And here we go. Okay, lovely cold start. %65%, and right generator coming online. And with that, our airplane comes to life. I love it. Alright, cool. So that's a good start on the right engine, starting the left engine. N1 is increasing. Props are turning. We have the minimum. And fuel on. Alright, that's looking like a good start in engine number 1 as well. So, starter coming off. 65%, fuel full forward, generator on. So, Gentize man open, that's looking good, and Gentize automatic, load, it's hard to read, okay, is equalized. Perfect, so that's 2 good engine starts. Then let's continue with our checklist. So let's do the B4 taxi checklist. And finally, props full forward. Okay, so pilot and co-pilot avionics are coming on. Standby indicators are on. Bleed air valves both. Temperature set. Temperature mode auto. Lights are set as needed. So, no smoking, seatbelts on. Instruments operating. Flaps forward wings. Just making sure that they're reacting. And they are. And retract. And coming in, HRS align message is out. CDU, time, date and position verified. Radar standby. And brakes checked. Before taxi checklist complete. Alright, then let's go into the avionics setup. Initialize the FMS. Database is still valid at this time. So, flight plan. We are departing Echo, Delta, Lima, Whiskey. Entering that. Now let's have a look at our flight plan again. Germinghausen 1 uniform departure. We can fly everything until here on raw data. However, I do know that the bot hop NDV does not work in the simulator. I don't know why, it's broken. So Lima Whiskey 105 is going to be the first RNAV point we'll need. So Lima Whiskey 105, let's enter that. Thereafter it's going to be Golf Mike Hotel. Entering that as well. Now let's enter routing from Golf Mike Hotel. I'm basically just going to enter the turn point. So Tesca is going to be next. So Tesca, enter. Then next is going to be Bombi. From here we have pretty much a straight line all the way to Bavax. And then finally Manal, Tulsi and Rattenberg. So Manal, Tulsi and Romeo Tango Tango. And finally our destination, Lima, Oscar, Whiskey, India. Okay. And that's everything we need down here. So what am I doing now? Oscar, Whiskey, India. Here we are. Okay, cool. So that's our flight plan entered. Then let's go to index, fuel management. We have 3,700 on board. Sorry, 2,600. Enter. Let's check the messages. VLF wants initialization. Yeah, update from the FMS. That's fine. And that's all the messages solved. Good. So, nav source is initially going to be the VOR, and we will fly straight at on the 239 radial from Dortmund Wickede 10865. Until 5.8, then left 149, then 120 QDR from Bottrop, inbound to, that's the Lima Whiskey 105 point. And since we will not be able to receive Bottrop, we can cheat a little bit. Let's go to system control, select course. Then we have 120. Inbound to the 105 waypoint. So select course 120 from the FMS. And then let's just go on to the nav source FMS down here. And that's inbound Lima Whiskey 105. Perfect. So back to VOR1. We said we're going to proceed on the radial 239 outbound. So let's set the course 1 to 239. Like this. Okay, and then we need a heading, but we can do that later on, so let's not bother with that. Okay, lovely. So that's our flight plan setup complete. Then we can set our cruise level plus 1000. We'll be cruising in 330, so that's gonna be it. And all data initialize. So you give me FMS data. Nav source on this side is going to be FMS2. And that's it. Down here we can go for the normal procedures, and we've already completed the before taxi, so before takeoff abbreviated is going to be next. Very good. Initial climb 5000 as per our ATC clearance. That's set. QNH was 1023. So 1023 set over here, and go to inches, that's 3020. and millibars over here as well. 1, 0, 2, 3. Wonderful. And with that, we have pretty much completed our setup. So let's go ahead and call for taxi. Dortmund ground, Starship 6, Bravo Papa, request taxi.
Starship 6, Bravo Papa, taxi to runway 24 via Kilo, Lima, Mike, Charlie.
Taxi runway 24, Kilo, Lima, Mike, Charlie, Starship 6, Bravo Papa. So we're standing up here, it's going to be Kilo, Lima, Mike, Charlie. Alright, sounds easy. Taxi lights coming on, park and brake is coming off, and let's go. Please don't ask me what a Ryanair is doing over there. There are definitely better places for Ryanair to be. Probably down to the airport's AFCAT file. I just really love how you can taxi Starship. Like, I'm literally, even though we're going significantly downhill over here, I'm just putting her into beta range, and you can control the speed so incredibly nicely with it. Just gotta be a little careful that you don't apply too much power when you want to get her moving. It's literally just a very slight advancement of the levers compared to the beta range, and that's all you need to get Starship moving. You can sort of hear how I'm playing with the levers as well. Little rough surfaces here. So, loads of Wizz Airs over here. Man, that's an invasion, isn't it? Okay, so off to the left, and then first to the right. Alright, and now all the way to Charlie, which is the second from the end. Kinda intelligent by ATC. They know that we'll have to do a rather lengthy run-up procedure, so they just don't clear us to the full length, which would be Delta over here, where we would be blocking other traffic, but they put us onto the intersection at Charlie, which makes sense. Oh man, they could absolutely work on those taxiways. They're a little rough. Just a little. Alright, so Charlie's approaching on the left. And just to put a little bit of emphasis on how well the airplane taxis, I haven't touched the brakes a single time yet. This is all just the beta range. You can really control her very, very well.
6 Bravo Papa, contact tower on 134.18, guten Flug.
134.18 Starship 6 Bravo Papa, just... So 134.18 is active. Alright, so Dortmund Tower, Starship 786 Bravo Papa, we are not ready for departure yet.
Starship 786 Bravo, Papa, Dortmund Tower, roger. Let me know when you are ready for departure.
Will go. Okay, so let's do the before takeoff procedures here. Fire extinguisher, test left side, test right side. Fire detector, test left side, test right side. So then, flap monitoring forward and right, auxiliary battery test, battery monitor test, that's all looking good. Fuel low warning, looks good. Stall warning. So we'll watch the angle of attack increase. Reaching 8, the stick shaker, or 6 actually, the stick shaker will come on, and that is looking wonderful. And the stall warning. Overspeed test, landing gear test. So annunciator test, that's all looking good. And then we need to increase our power a little bit to get 23 psi down here in the de-icing system. Which is looking good. So pressurization test, observe the cabin descending. Then standby de-ice test. And what it's doing now is that it's inflating all those boots, and once they have all inflated, the error messages will go away. Takes a little while for the wing boots because it has several stages to do there. And here we go. Now let's do the main system. And here we go. That's operating as well now. So while that's going on, vacuum test is good. And finally the bleed air test is good as well. Perfect. So let's now go ahead and do the engine auto ignition. So we'll increase power slightly until we have a torque of more than 17, I think, or 18. Then the auto ignition is going to go off. And that's it. So then let's switch that back off again and do the auto feather test. So auto feather is on both sides. Let's bring the prop levers down, and then we can slightly reduce engine number 1. And auto feather triggers. Back up. And the same on the other end side. And it triggers. Perfect. So, out of the auto feather test, let's do the manual feather test. Engine number 1. Response. Engine number 2. Response. Very good. So, then let's bring the engines back in idle. And we can do the low pitch test, which is looking good, and the governor test. So 1600, letting go of the switch, and they increase further. Perfect. Okay, and that should be our run-up proceed. Let's use the checklist and see what we forgot. Actually, there is a little bit of stuff. So autopilot coming on, heading mode, and it turns to follow. Same on the other hand side, and the yoke turns to follow. Disengage switch works as well. Then we can set our heading to the 149 heading that we need from our departure, like this. Alright, so before takeoff checklist abbreviated. Annunciators tested, surface, de-ice and ice protection. Oh, actually we forgot one down here. That's the ice protection test. So actuators to standby, anti-ice on. Then let's gradually turn them on and watch the increase on the load meters. It's just to see that some current is flowing here. And that's all looking good, so we can turn those back off. And then engine anti-ice message shows. Over to the main actuators and off again. Alright, so surface of de-ice and ice protection are tested. Pressurization altitude 1000 above. Rate knob 10 o'clock position, manual cabin altitude control normal, avionics checked and set, autopilot engaged, autopilot yoke disconnect checked, pitch roll rudder trims set for takeoff. I'm not a fan of the roll trim takeoff position down there, so I'm gonna ignore that. So flap forward wing as desired, flight controls free and correct, auto feather armed, standby altimeter set and flight and engine displays checked. Before takeoff checklist complete. So for the takeoff briefing, it is going to be a left seat takeoff on runway 24, flaps up and rotation at 108, climb out at up to 180, initial climb 5000, contact departure when advised on what did they say, 125.225. 125.225, that's armed. Okay, the squawk is in, and that's roughly everything we have to do up here. Yeah, that's it. Any questions? No? Beautiful. So, in that case, COM2 should be on 1215, which it is now. Departure is pre-selected. Starship 6 Bravo Papa ready for departure. Why is he not answering? Well, I think I know why. Because I changed the frequency. Should be 180, shouldn't it? Yeah, 13418. That happened when I used that little shortcut of going back to, you can see it, of going back to the 25 kilohertz. But that's of course changing the active frequency as well. Starship 6 Bravo Papa ready for departure.
Starship 786 Bravo. Papa, Dortmund Tower, roger. Let me know when you are ready for departure.
We're ready for departure now, Starship 6 Bravo Papa.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, runway 24, winds 255 at 7, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 24, clear for takeoff, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so approach is clear, left side is clear. The windsock agrees with air traffic control, that's always a good thing. Weather radar on. And then let's do the before takeoff final items. So, stall warning heat on, heater-static heat on, engine ice protection off, vent cable heat on, transponder on. Annunciators and ICAS messages are considered. External lights. All on. Cockpit lights set, windshield heat on low, engine auto ignition off, generator loads checked, pitch roll rudder trim centered, before takeoff final items complete. Okay, so present position map, we can turn that one on for the takeoff. Then we go straight at 5.8 miles, left turn 149, and the rest via the FMC. Alright, ready? Takeoff. Well, hold on to the brakes until the engines are stabilized. 95 torque, that's looking good. Brakes released, takeoff. Gotta make sure to keep the torque in check over here, because it does increase while we're increasing speed. $80 knots, checked. Rotate. So 8 degrees pitch, positive climb, gear up. Wonderful. So, yaw damper on. And she flies beautifully. Flight model of Starship is so good. Alright, set climb thrust please. That's gonna be a torque of 90. And 1600 RPMs.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Contact departure on 125.225.
125.225 Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Dortmund departure Starship 786 Bravo Papa passing 2100, climbing 5000.
Starship 786 Bravo, Papa, Langenradar identified. Climb flight level 050 direct Lima Whiskey 100.
Climb 5000, Lima Whiskey 100, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. 100 is basically to follow the set. Not sure why he's even saying that. Okay, so...
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, contact Langenradar on 121.355.
121.355, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. 1000 to go. And the left turn. Langenradar, Starship 786 Bravo Papa, passing 4200, climbing 5000.
Starship 786 Bravo, Papa, Langenradar identified. Good afternoon, Dortmund, QNH 1023.
QNH 1023, Starship 786 Bravo Papa. Request climb flight level 350.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, climb flight level 350.
Climbing flight level 350, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Set. 350 checked. Set standard. And standard is thrust checked, passing 57 now. Alright, so let's establish her on our track. Like this. Alright, so heading, speed profile, and autopilot. And here we go. So let's do the climb checklist, please. And that's yaw damper on, climb power, 90% torque, 840 ITT and 1600 RPMs. Well, the RPMs have increased slightly. Let's make sure we are right back on the numbers. So prop sync on, engine display monitor, cabin pressurization is increasing, especially the differential pressure is. Seatbelts and smokings can remain as they are, lights as well, climb checklist complete. What are you doing? That's the wrong one. So, present position map, display, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Lovely! So, we can turn the ultimate blower off now. Now we have the cool air from outside to help with the cooling of our avionics, but on the ground with those 28 degrees, I think it was definitely a good idea to have the ultimate blower on, just to ensure that we don't, let's say, completely mess it up and overheat our avionics. Yes, those can and do fail in black square aircraft, so that's the type of consideration that you should certainly pay. So, passing 100. Lights off, signs off. Here we go. Nice. Alright, so we are approaching Lima Whiskey 105, about 5.6 miles to run, and when we're passing that, we can return the system control to automatic sequencing. And with that, we are basically going to join our standard profile. So once I turn it back to auto lag up here, then we will resume our navigation. Now, just in case you couldn't follow of what exactly I was doing here with that selected course 120, let me just show you again. So basically, we were departing up here on the Gamminghausen 1 uniform, and we could fly this entire stuff here, raw data, using the data that we had on this chart over here. But since Bottrop NDB is out of service in the sim, we couldn't intercept that QDR 120 outbound. So for this reason I created this point, which is that one, Lima Whiskey 105, in the FMS, and then dialed in an inbound course of 120. For this reason we are now tracking this lag using this method. Right, now let's go back to auto lag since we're close enough to the waypoint, and now it's basically going to follow the standard routing. So now it's intercepting the lag from 105 to Gamminghausen, and thereafter everything that we've previously entered in our flight plan up here. And that's basically how I'm kinda cheating with those departures, but it works very well. So I'm certainly not going to complain over here. Well, my friends, so for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight, and I'll see you on the approach in Innsbruck.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, contact Innsbruck radar on 128.9075.
128.9075, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Innsbruck radar, Starship 786 Bravo Papa, passing 150, descending 120.
Starship 786 Bravo Papa, Innsbruck radar identified. Good afternoon. Expect the RNAV Victor runway 8 approach into Innsbruck.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, request localizer DME East approach. Not going to fly an RNAV with a Starship.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, cleared the localizer DME approach to runway 8 at Innsbruck.
Cleared localizer DME East, expect runway 8, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, that's something I can work with. So, let's take a proper seat here, and let me show you the arrival as well. So, Tulsi 3 Alphas, Tulsi to Rottenberg, that's the easy thing of it. Now comes the little bit more interesting thing, that's the localizer DME East. We're gonna leave Rottenberg on the 207 track, so let's pre-select 207. Well, let's actually change over the heading straight away. Now, he said we are cleared for the approach. That means we can descend to 9,500, which is going to be the platform altitude. And then we're going to leave Rattenberg on 207 to join the final approach. So nav source is going to be VOR1, and the final approach track will be 254 on a frequency of 111.1. Pretty much like this. Alright, and we're receiving something already. Nice. So Rattenberg frequency 303, we can tune that one as well. Up here, and then we can bring up the bearing pointer for ADF2, which should be Rattenberg, but for some reason ADFs in this simulator just aren't working properly. Okay, we can live with that. So down to 9,500, and then we're going to join the final at 19 DME from Oscar Echo Victor, which is the one that we already have active over here. So approaching 10,000, that means we got to reduce the speed towards 250. We're approaching Rattenberg. So let's join the track 207 outbound, which is set. Starship 786 Bravo Papa, please confirm the QNH.
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, QNH 1021.
QNH 1021, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Set. And 1021 is checked, that equals 3016 inches. Set and set. Nice. So you can have the VOR as your nav source as well.
Transavia 8 Juliet, contact Munich radar on 125.14.
Okay, beautiful. Localizer is alive and nav is armed.
Over to Munich radar
Localizer captured.
125.14, Transavia 8
So we're
Juliet.
waiting for 19 DME. That's where we're going to start our continuous descent. In the meantime, we do have a couple of checklists that we can walk through. That's going to be the descent checklist, which is pressurization, landing altitude down at 2000, rate knob as required, stand altimeter set, no smoking and seat belts. Okay, they're on, the power is set, the lights are on, descent checklist is complete. So, you're flying a little bit too far to the right for my taste. So, minimum for the circle to land. Let's actually bring up the circling chart for that. So, visual approach, circle to land. I suppose if we go down to 3,700, that's going to be absolutely fine. So, approach and descent. 3,700 set, and we are currently doing 240 knots. That means we need,
Hotel Sierra, contact Milan radar on
that means we need 1,200 feet a minute.
Switching to Milan radar on 118.675. Turkish Niner Hotel Sierra. Channel 35 Papa Echo, contact Milan radar on 118.675.
All right. Nicely established. Then let's do the distance altitude checks.
118.675. Channel 35 Papa Echo.
Ryanair 909
So, 17
Munich
DME,
radar on
8,700. And we've
Over to
passed
Munich
that
radar
all
on
the time. Let's do 1,500 feet a
125.14.
minute.
Ryanair 909 X-ray.
So, next up we're looking at 16 DME. Passing that now, 8,300, so we're 400 high. Correcting that. 15 DME, 7,900. So we're doing 220 knots, so 1,500 feet a minute should get us back into the profile rather quickly. Okay, approaching 14 DME, that's 7,500. So we are still 400 high, interesting. What's the slope over here? Okay, 3.7, so should probably descend a little bit faster.
Starship 890, contact Vienna radar on
Let's do 2,000 feet a
132.16.
minute.
Switching to Vienna radar on 132.16, Tomjet 890.
Okay, so next up is going to be 12 DME, 6,700. And here we are, 12,000 DME, 300 high, so now we're catching up with the profile. Okay, 11 DME, 6,300. That's 11 DME, 200 high. And 10 DME, 5,900, and from there we can also use the glide slope mode. So 10 DME and we are 100 high, so at 9 DME we should basically have intercepted the glide slope. The reason we are not allowed to use the glide slope outside 10 DME is because of all the terrain in here and all the possible interference that this may cause. But man, just look at this. What a plane, isn't it? Just looks so cool from the outside as well. Okay, so here's the glide. Approach mode is active. 1,000 feet a minute to intercept the final. Then we can pre-select the tower frequency, which will be 1201. And that's pre-selected. Starship 6 Bravo Papa, runway inside. Okay, reaching the minimum, autopilot disconnect, flight director off. Starship 6 Bravo Papa breaking out. And I think we've probably
Starship
lost...
6 Bravo Papa, continue the approach. Runway 8 is active. Report when established on finals.
6 Bravo Papa, roger. Starship 6 Bravo Papa, shall we contact tower already?
Starship 6 Bravo Papa, contact Innsbruck Tower on 120.1.
120.1, Starship 6 Bravo Papa. Innsbruck Tower, Starship 786 Bravo Papa, right downwind, runway 08.
Starship 786 Bravo Papa, Innsbruck Tower, wind 055 at 7. Runway 8 cleared to land.
Runway 08 cleared to land, Starship 786 Bravo Papa. Okay, perfect. We are clear to land. Let's maintain that altitude though. 3,700 should be the circling altitude. So far, so good. Okay, so the field is inside down there. Let's find the church. I think there it is. So that's where we're gonna circle around. Okay, flaps extend. Landing gear down. So the lights are all on. Wonderful, V4 landing checklist. Approach speeds will be 121. Actually 125. Which is set, pressurization check, non-smoking seatbelts on, auto feather arm, landing gear down, flaps forward wing are down, lights checked, autopilot disconnect, prop sync off, radar on, yaw damper off, before landing checklist complete. Alright, here's the church. So, let's go, starting the right-hand turn. Normally you're supposed to circle through this. So just gotta make sure that we get the turn correct here. And then we can increase our bank again. It would be nice if we could actually see a little bit more. Like this. Okay, that's our runway. Poppies are actually looking quite good. We are spot on. Very nice. Just a little slow. Correcting. Alright, that is looking superb. So, the gear is down, the flaps are down. That's the two important items. The rest of it is not going to cause us to lose the airplane if I get it wrong. Man, Innsbruck looks pretty beautiful. Okay, power idle. And we're down. I don't need any wheel brakes here. This is all just the beta range, and you can see how well it slows down. We'll use a little bit of wheel brakes now to make sure we make the exit. But overall, very easy, very relaxed. Alright, welcome to Innsbruck. Just... who didn't do a proper airport file here? Come on, there shouldn't be any jets parking on the left here.
Bravo Papa, welcome to Innsbruck. Taxi to stand 3 via Bravo Alpha, stay on this frequency.
3 via Bravo Alpha, Starship 786 Bravo Papa. Alright, let's quickly go ahead and
Starship
set
6
the
Bravo
lights.
Papa, negative, runway 8, clear to land.
What? Okay, I'm trolling the AI again, shouldn't do that. But in any case, so that's it. I'm just shutting down say intentions now in order to free the general aviation parking from traffic. After all, it's still an alpha, the traffic injection. Well, and here we are. So we should be parking on the left there. So after landing checklists, stall warning, heat off, pitot-static heat off, windshield heat off, vent cabin heat off, engine auto ignition off, transponder, standby, lights set, trim set, flaps and forward wing. Retracting. And that's the after landing checklist complete. Alright, I see some handling guys over there, probably waiting for us. And the way it looks like we gotta turn in from this side, contrary to the Learjet next to there. Like this. and stop. Okay. Parking brake is set and shutdown and securing. So parking brake set, oxygen supply off, engine noise protection off, windshield heat off, pilot and co-pilot avionics off. With that we lose the checklist, so we can do the rest by heart here. So generators are coming offline. Battery is checked. Okay, so everything off except for the engines. That's looking good. So props idle. 1, 2. And both engines feather. And both engines are running down. We're just waiting for the props to stop so that they don't endanger anyone when I turn off the beacon. And that's looking good. Okay. Control lock into position, parking brake is set, and that's it. So, welcome to Innsbruck. Let's go out and get the chocks in position. Then we can also get our pitot covers. Well, that's the gear pins. The covers should be somewhere here as well. I suppose we'll have to put them on manually, which is fine with me. Alright, so the gear pins are in position, engine covers getting on, and pitot covers put on as well. And with that, my friends, we've made it. Welcome to Innsbruck. I hope you liked this one. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Let me know if you want me to do more flights like this. And most importantly, if you've got any questions, you are welcome to put them into the comments as well. In the meantime though, I hope you enjoyed the flight, I hope you enjoyed Sane Tensions AI, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.